Okay, hi guys. So I'm going to show you guys how to break down contrast in a portrait of a person. So I'm going to do it in Magma. If you have other apps, you can obviously use them, but this is just how to do it in Magma. I am very rudimentary when it comes to graphic design, so bear with me. In this process, I'm trying to make things a little bit more approachable for you guys, make it more technology friendly. So I'm going to go to File and Import as a new canvas, and then I'm just going to find the picture that I want to do. So it's a portrait of a person. I literally just showed the picture of myself. So there's me. I'm going to upload myself again just so you guys can see it uploads the picture, and that'll be on the first layer. Now, once it's uploaded, I am going to do two things. Number one is I'm going to add some contrast because I want the brights to be really bright and I want the darks to be really dark. So I'm going to go to Filter, and I'm going to go to Brightness and Contrast, and I'm going to turn up the contrast and the brightness. And I'm going to keep on going until it looks pretty obvious where my darkest darks are and where my lightest lights are. And you can kind of toggle it over until you like it. You'll see what I'm doing in just a minute. And then you can like obviously toggle yours to fit whatever you're doing. Then you're going to go to Filter and we're going to blur it. So it's a lot less to outline. So I'm going to go to Gaussian Blur and I'm going to do it. So it blurs things up just a smidge, but it's not like so blurry that I can't see details. So probably like right around there, 25. And then I'm going to save it. Now, after you're done, we're going to add another layer. So if you don't have this menu over here when you open Magma, there is options where you can open this menu. So this is like the whole menu option. If you hit the like little wheel, you can go simple mode, full mode. Actually, this isn't the full, this is simple. But you can see it in both those modes. And you should have this option right down here where you see the layers. You want to click to add a new layer. Now, what that does is you're just like coloring on top of something, and eventually we can remove the picture altogether. So what you're going to do is you're going to zoom in. I can just use my wheel on my mouse. You can probably use the up and down key on your keyboard. And you are going to outline the dark areas and color them in with a dark value. So you're going to pick any color that's dark that you want. I'm just outlining my eye to start with. Now, if I zoom in, you can see that that is poorly done. So I'm just going to zoom in even more. That way I can make sure it looks like me. Because if you're not precise, it will not look like the person that you're trying to portray. Okay, so there's my outline. Now what that does is it lassos just that part, it selects just that part, and then I can pick a dark value. So I have this dark blue already picked out, and I'm going to use that for all of my dark values. So there's my dark value number 1. I can do the same thing with the eyebrow. So I'm going to just use this lasso tool. Although this eyebrow is kind of like a medium tone, so I think I'm not going to do that one. I lied. I'm going to do this other eye, and we'll save the other eyebrow for a middle tone. Sometimes you have to go back and forth because sometimes it deselects on its own. So I'm going to outline this and around my eyeball. And then I'm going to use my paintbrush tool again. It's already on the color that I need, and then just scoosh over that. And then you can keep doing this until you get all the dark spots handled. So obviously this isn't broken apart into layers, but you can kind of eyeball and see what's dark and what's not, okay? I'll do a little bit of this crease here, my smile lines. And do underneath the nose. And if you do something you don't like it, don't freak out. Just back up and erase it, okay? There's always this undo button, and you can back it up if you need to. So I'm going to keep doing this until the blacks are done, but I don't want to waste the whole video of me just doing the dark. So I'm just going to do this one last one on my face. I lied. I'm going to do the eyebrow too, just so you guys can see a whole. I'm just going to do this part of the eyebrow. And then I'll do the rest in a medium tone. So there we go. So you're going to do all the darks this way. Oh, I had the wrong one. I had the blend tool. Okay. So that's pretty much all the dark darks on my face. I'm going to do the rest in a medium tone. And then obviously if I was doing this whole project, I would do my hair too. So I'd like sit here and outline my face. I would be a lot more precise with it. I would zoom out and make sure I did the whole thing. I would do all this very, very cutesy, but I'm just going to do it really fast just to show you. And then you're going to color it in. It's going to be very blocky. That's okay. That's the whole point of this project. Okay. Blocky, blocky. Now I'm going to select another layer. I'm going to make another layer and I'm going to make this one invisible. So the one I just did, I click on this eyeball, it makes it invisible so I don't see it anymore. And I'm going to select the medium tones now using the lasso tool. So I'm going to go back to layer 3, make sure you're on the right layer. And I'm going to outline my middle tone. So anything that's in the center. You can see I'm going to go right underneath the darks if there's darks there. I'm gonna come back and do my lips later. Sorry, I'm just doing this one big chunk. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just try to get as close to outlining all the medium tones that you can. I'm gonna come back and do my lips later, like I said. And then you're gonna pick a middle tone to color this in with. I'm gonna do this monochromatic. You don't have to. You just have to use tones that kind of represent what you're doing. So if you're doing like a pink, you'd use like a middle tone of pink. I'm going to do it all blues because I want to do it monochromatic. So I'm just going to move it over in the same square here. And I'm going to paint in my middle tones using the paintbrush. Now I'm going to go back in and lasso this chunk that goes underneath my dark spot there. And this might show and it might not, and that's okay. I'm going to do my eyebrow. I'm going to do the top part of my eye right there because it's a little dark spot. I'm going to do not the whole part of my under eye, otherwise it's going to look like I have really big bags under my eye. And do that part. So any medium spots you see that you feel are important to highlight, you can always go back and add more later. I'm just kind of doing like the bare minimum here. I don't love that this did this, so I'm going to outline this part here and add that. And I'm going to go down and outline my lips now too. And this is where if you're doing it yourself, you can give yourself a little oomph. Just kidding. I just outlined it. No lip fillers. So we're trying to break this down into 3 layers: the lightest, the darkest, and a middle tone. So anything that you find important that's not dark and not light, outline it and then color it in with this middle tone. Okay. Obviously I would do a lot more if I wasn't wasting everybody's time. So I would just keep on going. And then we can unlock the second layer. Now the second layer is showing up and you can see both of them together and it starts to look more like me, right? So now we're going to lock both of these layers out and we're going to outline the lightest layer. So I'm going to add another layer and I'm going to do my lightest layer, which would be like the white part. Now this goes underneath my whole face. So I'm really just going to outline my face, I think. I went a little rogue there. That's okay. Can we talk about the fact that my hair is receding? What is happening? Okay, so there we go. Then I'm going to pick my lightest value. So you can use white here if you want to. I'm just going to use like a really, really light lavender. I don't like it. I want it to be More purple. There we go. Less gray. I'm going to color my whites then. Okay, now I'm going to unlock all those other layers. And now we have to drag them so that they view properly. So you just basically drag and drop the layers where you want them to go. So I want to put the bottom layer, the medium layer, and then the top layer. Now, is it completely done? No, but that's what you kind of want it to look like. So you have your base layer of light, you have your medium tone on top of that, and then the dark layers on top of that. Now I can go back and add a bunch more detail. I could add details in the hair where it's like kind of highlighted a little bit with medium tones to add curls. I can add a little bit of lashes. You can go back and add another layer underneath of like the full picture if you didn't want the blur on all of it. So that way you can go back and add a lot more detail. That's kind of up to you, but there's the basic idea behind it. So pick somebody that you want to represent and go. Good luck.